Honda Hotline. Very, very proud man today. I'm sure he was the head coach of the Kings' second-round pick, Jalen Slawson, for 5 years over at Furman. Pleasure to welcome in Bob Richey. Coach, how are you this afternoon?
I'm doing good. Appreciate you having me on.
How happy are you? How proud are you when one of your guys gets that call and lives out that dream that so many kids have to play in the NBA?
Well, it was definitely a proud moment, and I got to be down there with him and his family and a lot of our players as well. First draft pick for Furman since 1984, and just to see what he's been able to do in his career and really the progression of his development from going from a guy that freshman year was 19 points and 31 fouls, and to see how he just developed and stayed the course and. To leave here a champion for the first time since 1980 and then to go out and get drafted last night, it was an individual moment for him, and it was also a great moment for our program.
Coach, Jalen won Conference Defensive Player of the Year. To me, that means he can really get after it on that side of the ball. The Kings here have a great perimeter defender in Davion Mitchell. What impresses you defensively for Jalen, sir?
Well, I'll tell you this. He's and this is going to sound like a stretch when I tell you this, but he's one of the best shot blockers I've ever seen in terms of just pure timing. And what you'll see is a guy, the ability to chase down a block in transition to time things up at the rim. He's got incredible just timing. And, he was Defensive Player of the Year last year, and then he was Player of the Year in the whole league this year. But, he really brought his offense along and really, shot almost 40% from three. But he's got the ability to switch, which I think right now in the NBA, you have to be able to do that 1 through 4. And, he's just got great combination of size, anticipation, and the ability to make plays at the rim.
Like you said, he can switch 1 through 4 and really cover anybody at any one of those positions. Where do you think is his best position? I know the sport is becoming more and more positionless, and it's about what you can do on the court more than necessarily the position next to your name. Where do you think he fits in best or is most comfortable?
I think what he's going to end up developing into is more, as a fan trying to get an expectation. I think he's going to be kind of a Draymond prototype, of somebody that can really play both of those, the 4 or the 5, whatever you want to call it. Eventually even be able to, if he needs to play some 3, which right now the 3 and the 4 are very similar, but he's got the ability to make decisions. And so his ability to dribble his ability to make plays with the ball in his hand and really get it and make the right decisions with it is really unique. He's almost like he's like a big that's a guard, in terms of his decision making. And that's how we used him a lot. We played him at the 5 last year a lot, but then this year we basically made him a 4-man the whole time. But his ability to get the ball to the second side, his ability to really find action, and where the game is right now, that's becoming a very a hot commodity to find a guy that's a quote unquote forward, but that can really quarterback an offense with the ball in his hands. That's become
here with Coach Bob Richey, the head coach of Furman basketball. Coach, I can only imagine the type of campaigning you have to do weekly, probably even daily when it comes to pushing the narrative of Furman basketball. Rather that be with the recruit, how good your team is nationally and media pundits. I can only imagine. But I want you to put your best campaign manager hat on for me. Tell us why, and people here in Sacramento, why Jalen Slawson really is a pro ball player and why he belongs on this roster at the start of the season.
Well, I think, again, like we talked about earlier, just his development is shown, his path. And he's an elite athlete. He can do everything on the basketball court that he needs to do. He's a 39% three-point shooter this year. If you look at his ratio of blocks and steals per possession, it's really almost an outlier. And, he can dribble, he can pass it, he can shoot it, he can defend it. Here's what I'll tell you. He's only going to keep getting better. And that's what excites me the most about that situation. Any situation, I kept telling every NBA team I talked to, somebody's going to look like a genius in 2 or 3 years because there are some people that question the shot. Can he be consistent out there? He's going to work really, really hard. He's going to adapt. He's going to get used to it. And I think because of looking at the trend line of where his progression is, I don't think he's done getting better. And I think that's got to be the exciting thing. And I think he's somebody in 2 or 3 years, everybody's going to be looking back and saying, man, they really got him 54th. I think it's going to turn out to be a great pick.
You know, Coach, you mentioned the 39% 3-point shooting, and that's one thing that jumped off the page when I was going back through his numbers at Furman. And the thing, it's not just the 39%. It's that the previous year he shot 30% from three. What was it? Did he change something, or was that just, as you said, he's a relentless worker? Was it just getting in the gym and getting up reps, or was there something he changed about his shot that we see almost a 10% jump in his 3-point percentage?
Most of it was just, there was a few adjustments we made to his base. It wasn't anything, outrageous. We really spent some time just to get it off quicker and really just to get off the floor faster. But, we just knew, he put his name in the draft and got a few workouts last year. And that was the number one part of the feedback, was he's just going to have to show that he can make perimeter shots. And so we just really focused on making sure, at our level for him, he could do so much around the basket and the post that, a lot of his individual workouts earlier in his career, that's what he kind of, fed off of. But, he's always been able to stick a three, but we wanted to be more consistent. So we just really started, obviously he made a big commitment on his own, but also in terms of how we were repping him, we just made sure he got a lot more volume.
Coach, a lot of esteemed gentlemen like yourself, coaches, even in a win, they find things that we can all improve on and get better. Do that for me when it comes to Jalen. I think you've kind of talked about the shot, but where are some areas you think he can get better?
Yeah, I think looking at it, his biggest adjustment is going to be, I think defensively he's going to be more than fine. I think the way he's going to have to score it in the league is going to be different than how he had to score it for us. And, I think for him, just as he continues, like we talked about the shot, just getting comfortable with the extension of the line and, getting it off a little bit quicker and allowing himself to understand that he's got to play off that shot a little bit more, where at this level he could play off that drive first, shot second. But I think also just driving in straight lines and being able to be aggressive at the rim against bigger people and stronger people, I think those are going to be things that he's going to continue to adjust to. But he's a sponge. I mean, he really picks up concepts really quickly. He likes challenges, and I really do. I think his character is going to be something that just really sticks out, and his ability to work. I think everybody's going to be really happy with it.
Last year in Sacramento, we got a rookie who the city fell in love with because of his what these days is a unique personality in Keegan Murray, where whether it's good or bad, it's almost the same facial expression. It was almost a joke, like, oh, I see his smile. What kind of personality are Kings fans going to see with the Jalen Slawson when he gets up here with this team?
You're going to get a little fire. He's competitive, which is how we like him here. But, definitely plays the game with emotion, and, somebody that plays the game with a lot of passion. And, it's something that he's definitely continued to make sure he channels in the right direction. But, you go back and watch our Virginia win in the NCAA tournament. He's a guy that he gets the crowd into it, and he makes highlight plays, and, he makes those energy plays, and he really feeds off of it. And, man, he does some exciting stuff on that court. And it's going to be something where, especially in the NBA, even some of the rules that make the floor bigger, and the spacing is obviously even more, widened out than it is in the college game. I think it's going to be something where the fans really, really get behind his style of play and really the personality he brings on the court.
That's Bob Richey, Furman head coach, and the head coach of Kings' second-round pick, Jalen Slawson, for the last 5 years. And Bob has been our guest for the last few minutes. Really appreciate the time and the insight, Coach. Thanks again.
Sounds good. Y'all have a great day. Appreciate you having me on.
And there's Bob Richey joining us on